Hi, this is Kim Pinkney and welcome to my channel. Well, I got about 20 minutes to kill before I have to hit the happy trail. And so I am drawing on this one particular hoodie. I've had this for a while and just didn't know what to throw on it. But I've decided this is going to be my Soul Eater hoodie. And on the sleeves, I'm going to put the sun and the moon. Today I'm going to work on the moon during this time that I've got here. I've got two choices. I could either have him like kind of straight up and down, or I can kind of have him at an angle. I think I'm going to have Mr. Black Paper Moon. I'll just have him straight up and down. I've already set up my hoop on the sleeve. And since the moon is facing this way, I have him on the right sleeve, and then I'll put the sun on the other sleeve. And while I'm on the bus, I'll probably be using my Arteza fabric markers to color it. It's only looks like it's about maybe 2 colors. I've got yellow, orange, black and white. Oh, in red because the teeth are bleeding. Okay, and I need a darker pencil. There we go. So I'm going to do this really quick. I might have time to outline it. And I'm just going to pretty much just stay within the confines of this circle here, this hoop. Yeah, if you've ever seen Soul Eater, the anime, the moon always was really super disturbing to me. It not only did it have this really weird eye inside of an eye. It was like this was all black in here with a little black dot. It had these weird craters around the eye. It always seemed to kind of like giggle, I guess. I don't know. And it had this really big disturbing smile, and the sun wasn't much better. So, but I thought it would look wicked awesome on here. It's a pretty simple design. Let's see if I could just capture a bit of that disturbance. That'd be awesome. Let's see. I just want to try to get maximum reach on here. Let's see, it looks like it's kind of safe to do a line. Now, I'm not concerned about making mistakes on here, pretty much because I know that the pencil will wash out eventually. Teeth are huge. Then it has like blood dripping. And it's not that much to this. The fun is going to be in coloring it. Alrighty. And I'm going to outline it with, let's see, I drew it with the General's charcoal pencil because you can really see it. And now I'm just going to outline it with the Pentel gel roller. And I love how this gives you like really crisp lines. Whereas when I use virtually every other pen, I get like this little, kind of like how, you see how the pencil kind of is fuzzy, whereas this is like really super smooth. That's what I try to accomplish. And the smoother and bolder and darker that you have it, the more professional it looks, like you bought it from one of the stores or something like that. It don't look homemade. Not that that's a bad thing. In a sense, I'm kind of doing anime on shirts and stuff, partially because I can't find this anywhere. And also, it kind of gives me an idea on character design that I'd like to pursue in the future. I'm still trying to come up with an idea for a story, and I've got some really interesting ideas, at least interesting to me. But it's like I want to design the characters so that I fall in love with them, and would want to spend years refining them and their story and telling their story and things like that. And I guess that'll come with time and stuff like that. Let's see, his nostril's way too far away. This should have been like way over here. I want to make these lines really bold. I want to be able to, like, if I wear it or if somebody else wears it, I want someone, like a fan, go, oh, I know where that's from! And they'd see it from like a distance or something like that. Yeah, usually when I do fan art, I want to throw my own like 2 cents into it. Just and it's kind of frustrating. It's like I want to do my own thing, but yet I want to do this character because I love this character. Things like that. Like I would never be able to sell this. I could give it away, but I don't think I'll be able to sell it. Copyrights and things like that. Or I could, just wear it myself. And just, revel in the fact that, yeah, I'm so damn poor that I have to make my own fan art. I can't just buy it to support the authors and stuff like that. The shame of it all. But I also can do, whatever I want to it. I'm not, like, limited to someone else's work. I'm deviating a bit from my lines because I can see where I might have gone wrong or just want to enhance it a bit. Yeah, gotta have the dripping blood. Let's see, and I kind of want the outside lines to be really super bold. And here's the downside to these markers, these fabric gel roller pens. When they run out, it'd be fabulous all the way around with no indication that it was going out. It's out now. It's done. It's dead. That sucks about these. So I can understand why they're gone out of production. Another alternative that I use are Prismacolor Premier markers. They are not per se fabric markers, but they hold up in a wash. They are not, you know, they, depending on what I've got them on, they will fade, but they'll still be there. Like the line won't be as crisp and stuff like that, but it'll still be there. But like everything, when you wash it multiple times and things like that, it's gonna fade. So just kind of expect a little bit of fading here and there, especially if you wash it regularly and in a washing machine. If you wash it by hand, it'll last longer because it's not going through the wash and being like torn apart and stuff. We'll have this be blood too. So it's like you're kind of babying it, like you'd wash it by hand and air dry it, you know, that sort of thing, or don't wash it as often. Alrighty. Now, how I would color this, I would, Arteza only has one yellow. Let's see, I've got a little time. I got time, cuz. Arteza's got one yellow. If I don't like this yellow, I've got, I got little guys like this that I can use. They are Arteza fabric paints, but they're really super tiny. They're 3D fabric paints, so I could make little raised objects and stuff like that. And in this set, it also has some glow in the darks and stuff like that. And it's also got what do you call it? Like sparkles and stuff like that, like gold and things like that. So if I feel froggy, I can add gold glitter to it, because you know Kim likes to throw glitter on just about frickin' everything. Let's see. This is ochre, so that's like a form of yellow that I can use for like shadows. I've got a metallic gold. I've got a lot of I got a lot more options basically. So let's see how the fabric marker looks on here. See, I've got about 10 minutes. Okay, so the brightest parts of this are like right here. Oh, this one looks like it's drying out. This is an old pen, old marker. I've got two. I bought two sets. It's not in that one. But I don't usually limit myself to one brand of fabric marker or paint. Sometimes I'll use combinations of like tulip fabric markers, whatever I can get my hands on that'll get to the tone that I want. And I don't see it. So it looks like I'll be painting instead of using the marker, because this marker is dried out. Oh, wait a minute. There's the other one. Okay, let's see what this one looks like. And underneath this, I've got a board. So that gives me a little bit more stability. Okay, so all in this area here, on this area here, I'm going to go ahead and use the fabric marker. And it doesn't hurt since there's no white on here. You know, to leave any highlights or anything like that. So basically this will be the highlight. Now, to make your artwork look really good on fabric, you want to make sure you get all up in that white here. You want to make it look like there's no white showing at all. That'll also add to it looking a lot more professional or store-bought looking. You can either color in circle strokes or whatever it takes to get it out there. Now you'll also come across like little fuzz balls as you work on your fabric. That is normal. It's icky, and it's best to remove them as soon as possible, because if they could get on your shirt, they could spread little spots around your art, and it's annoying, especially when it's outside the area. Now these markers dry relatively fast, so if you want to do any blending, you're going to want to do that. You want to lay down a lot of the colors. Like you want to throw down a base color, and say I wanted to do some blending around here, I would need a brown. Let's see, this one is like brown and orange. So I got tangerine, and these are great for transporting. Like say I'm on this coffee's really super dark. I don't want to use coffee. I want to drink coffee. I want to use this coffee. Okay. I gotta find the lid to this. Alrighty, the brown oops, this is not brown. Let's see. That's coffee again. I'm looking for chocolate. And I probably have it in my bag already. Yeah, I do. Yeah, since I'm going to be working on my other jacket while I'm on the bus, I'll just go ahead and start filling this up with yellow. But what I wanted to show was how to get a little bit of a blend going on. I'm wondering if this will be a little bit lighter. Maybe I can layer it a bit. Around these edges here, it's brown. But you'll see that this coffee is so dark that it looks like it's black. The grays are the same way. I mean, you can see a hint of brown. And I'll use a little bit of this tangerine here for the orange. You can see a hint of brown, but at first glance it looks black. And then I'm just going to go over all of it with the yellow again, and see if I can lighten it up a bit and spread it out a bit, because the craters fade from, There we go. There we go. And that's how you can get some really nice gradients going on. But you got to do it while it's wet. If you don't do it while it's wet, it's going to dry up on you and it's not going to move. Alrighty, I got about 5 minutes, so let's see how fast I can go here. But in reality, you really want to take your time. You know, feel the zen of coloring. The calm feeling and knowing that you're going to have a kick-ass shirt when you're done. Same thing is happening around the bottom of the nose. It's got this brown color, especially around the nostrils. And it's also got that orange tone. So I'm going to lay it on. Quickly jump to the orange. Whoops. Now sometimes you'll find that if you use the Artezas, they will have two different color tones on each side. Same color, it's marked the same color, but the tone is like, maybe one's a little bit more saturated than the other. It's really freaky. Like I was using one for skin tone, the apricot as a skin tone, and I wanted to cover a lot more area with the chisel tip, and when I applied it, it was way darker on the chisel tip than it was on the bullet tip, and I don't know why that happened. I know I use the bullet tip a lot. Okay, only got a few more minutes left. Yeah, my bus is on detour, so it goes all the way up another street and then comes back around a few blocks away and then comes back to where it's supposed to be. Okay, so now that I've got a little bit of an error right here, not that I'm worried about it, because I can always try to use maybe one of the other colors to cover it up. I can always go over it with one of the other colors and like a white, cover it up, and then go ahead and repaint it, redraw it. Not redraw it, but rather cover it up. Alrighty, this might be the shortest video or live stream video that I've put out, besides accident of computer glitches and malfunctions. Man, that sucked. I was so ready to draw Hawkman. I picked out an actor that I thought would look gorgeous as Hawkman, and had all my stuff set up, camera set up, and then my computer just crapped the bed. It was the most depressing thing, and it was down for like days. It was sad. Kim was sad. The sad Kim. Yeah, so when you color, you want to get a lot of depth. Try using about 3 colors on your art, especially if you're using the fabric markers, because this around the side of the moon here looks really cute. But again, you got to get it while it's wet. And then I can also layer it. So like once this dries, I can also add I can add more of the yellow to it, and it'll change the color, like maybe it'll be a little bit deeper, darker, kind of like how you would use a Copic marker. If you keep going over it and over it again with a Copic, it'll get darker and darker. This will happen the same way once it's dried and you go back over it. And so you can get a lot more effects with that. Let's see, around, and we're almost there. It's kind of cool. The only thing that I'm kind of leaving off is the blood in the mouth. Let's see, and I could get to that in a bit. Now I'm doing little touches because it's like slightly red around this area, or slightly orange, to give this a little bit more depth. And I just work that in with the chisel tip, because the moon is not completely orange or completely brown or anything like that. It's more orange in some places than it is in others. If you use too much, it'll become overwhelming. The color will be a lot more overwhelming. So here's some of those little yellow flaky fuzz balls, and they're wet, so you got to watch out for those. Okay. Alrighty. And then I need to do black in here. Oh, I got 8 minutes. Let's see. I'm looking for either one of the grays. And it's sad. Oh, I got black. I got black. Okay. The grays are really super dark. One of the things that I do to overcome the dark is I have a white paint pen nearby, and I'll use the white paint pen, use the gray, and then kind of layer them and work them into each other. I apologize, I'm down to like one screen. I have never heard. Hi, Dexter. Sorry, I'm down to one screen, so I didn't see that you popped in. No, I've never used a Lucy drawing lens tool. And how do I feel about tracing? And I like the little symbol that you have. Tracing. I have two thoughts on that. And one of them was from my art teacher, because in school I had gone to a graphic design school, and you have to think of if you're working in the industry and it's part of your job to get something done quick, you're going to trace. You're going to use whatever you need to get the job done as fast as you possibly can, and as quickly and as properly as you possibly can. Now, do I condone tracing as, on the regular? No, I don't. I think that you should learn it. I think because if you trace, yeah, you get the immediate reward, but you well, let me let you know. When I was in school, we weren't taught the basics on how to draw. I came in with my own talent, my own knowledge on how to draw, but a lot of the students there, they didn't draw. They didn't draw like I did. They didn't know how to hold a pencil so that you didn't get those thick to thin lines, light lines, things like that. At least a lot of them didn't. So to overcome that, we would go through magazines. Like, we had assignments where we did have to do some drawing. So they showed you, you know, the basics of a sphere. You know how like a sphere has the shadows, lights and darks and things like that. She showed that, and I did pretty gosh darn awesome. My stuff got hung up, you know, to show this is how it's supposed to look. But a lot of people didn't have that kind of, you know, they just weren't at that level. So one of the things that they showed was drawing from tracing. You would get your hot press board. You'd use a printer, and you'd trace your image onto your drawing paper, and then you'd render it. So people who trace and then say that it's a drawing, I kind of think that I have to call bullshit on that. sorry about the language, but yeah, it has its place, but I don't see people as tracing as artwork. I can see if you've got a deadline and you got to get it done. Say you're doing what is it called? You're doing a portrait for somebody, and to get it done in a timely manner, you got to trace it for accuracy and stuff. That I don't see any problem with. But when you're tracing something and then calling it your own, I think that's BS. Tracing it and then coloring it and saying this is how to color or how to draw, you know, that sort of thing, I think it's BS. I want to say it does take I don't want to say it takes a bit of talent to trace, but to render it, you know, it's hard, or you know, you have to have work with it. So I don't trace. Some people look at it like it's a dirty thing, but I think tracing has its place. I just don't think that, I think that you need to put in the time. I think a person needs to, but this is my own opinion, a person needs to put in the time to learn the basics, to learn proportions and all the stuff that goes along with it, because there'll be a time when someone's going to ask you to do something and you have nothing to trace from, and you don't grow. You don't grow as an artist by tracing. You may be able to see and come up with a really nice product, but on the whole, you're kind of cheating yourself if you don't put in those, you know, the muscle memory type of thing in order to do that. So there'll be a time when you won't be able to transfer and to draw and things like that. You have to, like, and that day will come. And how you feel about yourself and your talents, you know, that's between you and, you know, your artwork. But to call your, you know, I just think that it has its place. In business, I see it. You have, you know, you got a deadline. You got to get it done. I see no problem with tracing your own artwork. And I got to hit the happy trail. You guys, thank you so much for joining me. And hopefully I'll be able to throw more stuff on this sleeve. Maybe I'll throw the town or something like that underneath. Maybe a witch flying by. Who knows? But I know I'll put the sun on the other side. So come back tomorrow and take a peek at that. If I've got the time, I'm going to work on that. Again, thank you so much for joining me. And if you've learned anything at all, you know, trace if you must, but you need to take the time, and whatever you traced, see if you can do it freehand. You know, take the time out and learn to do it freehand, because that will help you with doing other stuff. You don't want to be limited by tracing. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.